Okay, welcome to Hanging Out with Bob, a podcast hosted by me, Bob Edholm. Thanks for joining us, and let's get started. Maybe what I should say is welcome back to Hanging Out with Bob, because this is part 2 of a podcast episode with my guest, Tom Madigan, author of I Survived, Living with the Trauma of a Dependent Parent. His book was issued earlier in 2026 by Page Publishing. That's Page, P-A-G-E, Publishing. Chapter 1 dealt with some of the current thinking regarding the causes of alcoholism. Chapter 2 was devoted to Tom's family history. It was designed to reinforce some of those theories Tom described in Chapter 1, along with the environmental impacts that helped contribute to his dad's alcoholism. And Chapter 3 dealt mainly with Tom's relationship with his sister Gail, who was 7 years old when Tom was born. But he also wrote about the deaths of his dad and mom, as well as his sister, in Chapter 3. Let's get to, you kind of hinted at it earlier. Let's talk about the Chapter 4. It's called Chance Encounter, and that's when you actually talk about Carol. But before we get to Carol, you mentioned some guys, some men in your life that were kind of like your mentors. There were like 4 guys.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about them and how they kind of helped you while you were dealing with life. And
well, not having a dad available a lot of the times, and Dad had some influence on me, obviously.
Oh, of course.
But I mean, I didn't know how to behave really in life, particularly professionally.
Right.
And Fred was really my first boss, and he was a public works director of the city of Columbia Heights, and I was the assistant city engineer, and right out of college. And I was getting in trouble with the staff, particularly at City Hall, and I had a little bit of tone, a little bit of shortness with people.
Were these people that were under your what? You were like supervisor?
No.
Oh, just
I
coworkers.
had people under me that I supervised, but these were people, just staff
coworkers.
people, coworkers. And Fred sat me down one day and said, "Tom, it's not working for you. You're pissing people off. Okay, and you got to change."
Yeah.
And he talked about what I needed to do to change. And I went from being this albatross, in essence, around the necks of everybody, to employee of the year.
So he was a big help then.
Yeah. I mean, he turned me around. I still have that plaque. I have it on the wall in my office here in Blaine.
Yeah.
I became employee of the year.
Fred. Okay, who was another?
Well, I worked with a guy by the name of Dick Van Sickle. Dick was a Marine colonel, fought in Nam. He was obviously a civil engineer like me. I worked for his firm for a number of years, and I just looked up to Dick. Dick was just a wonderful person, trained as a leader, showed me what it was to be a leader and how to act as a leader. And I took a lot, and I miss him. He passed away just a couple of years ago, and I went to his funeral. It's tough.
Yeah.
He was
big influence on you then, so
yeah. And then Bob Kilgore, I worked with him at another firm, engineering firm. Bob I had such respect for because he was very competent technically, but he also knew how to work with his clients and build relationships with his clients. He just was really, really good at that.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of influence on me. He really did, in terms of growing as a person and understanding that as a person, right? Yeah.
And then there was a 4th person?
And the 4th person is Bill Harrison. Bill was vice president of construction for Target. I did a stint for about 3 years in Target Construction. I managed the construction of their stores around the country. And Bill was a guy who just had a calm demeanor. He had a plaque on his desk that I just cherished. It said, "No surprises." That's all it said. No surprises.
Yeah.
And what he was saying is, don't blindside me with a problem.
Right.
Okay. I don't want to hear when it's too late to deal with it, right? I want to know right away so I can help you solve it. And I took a lot from that.
Yeah.
He just,
that is good.
And he was very personable. I think, unfortunately, he's passed. I know Fred has passed.
Okay.
And of course, Dick has passed.
Yeah.
I think Bob is still alive.
Okay.
And I was actually going to reach out to him because I have a book signing over in Hudson, Wisconsin, on the 19th of July at
sure.
Chapter 2 Books. And I'm going to try to reach out, and hopefully Bob, if he's around and I can reach him, hopefully he can join and come, because obviously I talk about him in the book.
Right.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. So you said some have passed, so it's hard to keep in touch with all of them. But obviously they were a big influence on your life.
Right.
Mentors, you call them. And
Yeah, I mean, Dick and I stayed close up until his death. In fact, in a couple of weeks, I'm actually going out to Minnesota Arboretum with his widow.
Oh, nice.
Sandy and I are going to go have lunch.
Okay.
And they have
Very
a
nice.
plaque that they've mounted at the Circle of Donors for my sister. Her name is on a plaque there.
Okay.
And I have not seen it in person. So
Okay.
I want to go out there
Right.
and see that and honor her by going out to that. And then they also, the church, Mount Olivet, they did a indoor atrium at the church. And there's a plaque there with my sister's name on as well.
Nice.
Like I said, she had quite a bit of money, and she donated that money to both of those organizations, and I helped put that all together. And again, that's what other friends have said. Why are you doing all this? Well, that's who I am. I just don't know how else to behave.
I think it's good you did that. So. Well, let's talk about the chapters titled Chance Encounter. Let's talk about Carol. Is that not her real name?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Okay, but just set up the story how you were on a flight, right?
Yeah, I was heading from Phoenix to Houston, going up to Pittsburgh. And I was working for an organization. It was a volunteer thing called ABET, Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology.
Okay.
And the University of New Mexico had set me up with that and asked me to apply. They do accreditation for engineering programs around the world. They're like in 42 countries. Okay, they're out of Baltimore, Maryland. They asked me to apply, and it's a lot of training. I went through all the training, made it through the training, and I went around the country, and I evaluated the programs for civil engineering at these universities. So I was going to do University of Pittsburgh.
Okay,
so
that's why you were going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so I'm on the plane, and it's a 737. I fly Southwest a lot. Obviously, I live in the Southwest.
Right.
I fly them a lot, and of course I have a Southwest credit card, all that stuff.
Yeah.
To earn points, and I usually like to sit in the there's a 2-seat kind of exit row seat.
Yeah.
And
you got leg room.
I do that
right,
too.
too.
Yeah. So I get on the plane, and there's a woman sitting there on the aisle, but the window portion, and there's still the space next to the window, but it's like the middle seat.
Yep.
Right?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So I asked her if I could sit down, and she said sure. And I just struck up a conversation with her, and I asked her what she was doing, and she said, well, I'm just coming back from San Diego. She goes, I was in a program down there to help me stop enabling my drug-addicted son, who was like 24, 25 years old. And she said, I'm bailing him out of jail, I'm doing stuff, and she goes, I got to stop it. And she goes, and we introduced each other, and she goes, Tom, she goes, I'm an alcoholic myself.
Yeah.
And she goes, my mother was an alcoholic. Okay. So we got struck up the conversation, and that's when she started sharing some things with me about her situation and talked about me and my situation. And, she identified to me, she goes, Tom, you're an alcoholic. And I said, well, yeah, but I don't drink in excess.
Is that the first time anybody ever
Yeah, no one's ever said
alcoholic?
that to me. You're an alcoholic. And I said,
Really?
she goes, you have the personality.
Oh, right.
Okay. You have the personality. And she goes, your brain works really fast, doesn't it? You process things really, really fast. And you don't have patience for anyone that's not staying up with you, right? And I go, yeah. And she goes, you've hurt a lot of people because of it, haven't you? That hit home.
Yeah, right.
Because it's the truth.
Yeah.
My brain, I'm like 2 steps ahead a lot of times with people. Because other people are a little slower in processing and thinking through things. I just calculate it out. And I was always really good at math. I'm an engineer. I was always really good at math.
Yeah. Wow.
That's not necessarily good. It can be good.
Yeah.
There can be good things with that, but there's also negative with that. And she said, you have those traits, and you have to recognize that. And she goes, when you put someone else down, you're lowering yourself below them.
Wow.
And that really hit me. How truth is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this a direct flight? I mean, did you go from
No,
Phoenix
I went to Houston, and she was living outside of Houston, so
Okay.
she was heading home.
Okay.
And then I took another flight from Houston.
Oh, okay.
There's
Okay.
Southwest doesn't have a lot of direct flights,
Right,
I mean,
right.
unless it's a short hub. If like you're going from Phoenix to LA or whatever, Vegas or whatever, Albuquerque, that kind of thing. But,
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked was, I mean, were you guys basically talking from the time you sat
oh
down?
God, we
till you
never
Wow.
stopped.
Wow.
We never
okay.
stopped talking, and it was like an hour and a half flight.
But a
So-
chance encounter, sitting with someone in
Yeah.
the exit aisle,
Yeah.
and she.
And she talked about
Yeah.
the sugar, and she talked about,
What was her training? She was a teacher.
she was a
right?
teacher,
Yeah.
and she lost her job because of her drinking,
Yeah.
and lost her first marriage because of it.
Yeah.
She was married for 16 years to another guy,
Yeah.
and she'd been sober for about 16 years. God bless her.
Mm-hmm.
That she'd stayed. And it's interesting because she was drinking Diet Coke and a lot of Diet Coke, and she came on with a big 20-ounce bottle of Diet Coke, and she ordered Bob 3 or 4 other cans of Diet Coke on an hour and a half flight.
Wow.
She finished all that. Okay, and she noticed that I was noticing that. And she looks at me and goes, "Yeah, I've talked to my husband about that. I need to break myself of this."
Yeah.
She switched that addiction.
Yeah. From alcohol to
Diet
Coke.
Coke.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's not sugar,
No.
but it's aspartame, and
Yeah.
so yeah, it was interesting that she had changed to another addiction,
Yeah.
in a sense, but just she was just a special person.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she talked about how she would go to the grocery store in the mornings and buy her booze, and then she would buy a pack of toilet paper.
So it
along
wouldn't
with
look
the
like-
booze.
Yeah.
And she said, "Tom, I filled up an entire spare bedroom with packs of toilet paper." She said, "It's ridiculous."
Yeah.
But that's what I was doing. And she goes, "And do you think that the people that were checking me out didn't know what the hell was going on?" Because she was there every day. Mm-hmm. She was drinking a fifth of booze and a case of beer. And it was 2, I take that back. It wasn't booze. It was 2 bottles of wine and a case of beer per day.
Herself?
Yeah.
And she's what, about 5 feet tall?
She was about 5'2".
Oh, she even.
And I looked
alive.
at her and I go, "How the hell did you do that?" And she goes, "Oh, I peed a lot."
Yeah.
I go, "Yeah."
It wasn't doing her liver any favors either,
No,
was
she talked about a
God.
woman she was in treatment
How old
with.
was she, do you guess?
I'm going to guess she was probably in her 50s, maybe late 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was in treatment with a woman that I write about in the book, that she would wear different wigs. She had her booze delivered to the house,
Oh,
and she put a different wig on every time the delivery person would come to the door.
oh my gosh.
Like
All
somehow
that-
that's going to matter.
Oh, man.
That's the alcohol. My
Yeah.
dad, Bob, did not want to drink.
Yeah.
He was sick with a disease. It wasn't his. He didn't want to do that. He tried very hard.
Yeah.
He went to treatment 6 times
Yeah.
to try to overcome it. It killed him. It says that on his death certificate.
Yeah.
He died from alcoholism. He didn't want to drink.
Yeah.
It wasn't a social thing for him.
Right.
He drank at home. He'd hide it. When we sold the house, we found, probably a dozen bottles of fifths of whiskey. He drank a fifth straight out of the bottle every day.
Wow.
Every day. And we'd find these bottles around the house hidden. And with a little bit left in there, most of them were empty.
Yeah.
My sister and I, when we sold the house. Crazy.
So, did you ever, was that the one and only time you ever spoke to Carol? I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't
yeah.
exchange
no,
business
no,
cards?
did
or-
not
okay.
change anything.
Okay.
No, that was it.
That was it.
But
Wow.
she struck me, and
Yeah.
I don't know if she ever hears about my book, but she needs to know she made a difference in my life.
Yeah. Wow.
She really did.
Interesting, man.
Yeah.
Well, the next chapter in your book is the 5th chapter. It's called My Trauma.
Yeah.
And you described about 15 or so different events, and we're not going to go through all those now. But
Sure.
was there one in particular that you kind of wanted to mention that probably had the most impact on you as you were growing up, or that had a big impact?
Well, I think, I've witnessed somebody dying. There was a guy that had a heart attack. I was out playing with a buddy on his grandmother's front step, and he came out of the side of his house and dropped dead right there. And,
Wow.
those kind of things.
How old were you when that happened?
Oh, gosh, I was probably 12, 13,
Oh,
something
yeah,
like
that's-
that.
yeah.
Just seeing that, and we screamed at my buddy Scott's grandmother to, call call the police or whatever.
Right.
And they weren't able to revive him. He didn't make it. Sad. And I've had a heart attack myself. 4 years ago, I had a heart attack. I had a heart attack, and then, my sister, like 4 months later, I'm in the middle of cardiac rehab, and my sister dies of a heart attack. And, of course, my dad died of a heart attack. So I have cardiovascular disease. So, that's another hereditary thing that I'm dealing with. But at any rate, that was impactful. We had neighbor's house blow up.
Oh,
the Phelps house.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
Yeah, in fact, one of my classmates, I'm setting up this a book. I'm doing a book signing down in my hometown at their art center, Wassega Art Center, on July 11th. And a lot of my classmates are helping me. They're putting the word out. And one of them, through Facebook message, reached out to me and goes, "I remember that." His dad was the county sheriff. And he said, I was there with my dad at that scene. Yeah. And it was one of my mom's best friends that was died.
What happened to his gas?
Well, yeah, the dad was working on a riding lawnmower. Yeah. And they had propane tanks in the garage. Yeah, and somehow the mower got loose and smashed into the propane tank, and it exploded.
Oh, my.
I don't quite know whether the blade cut into it or what, Bob.
But it exploded. Yikes.
And they had one son, Dean, and parents went out the back, and the son went through the busted-out windows out the front, and they thought he was still inside, and the mom ran back in.
Oh, my. Oh.
And the dad had cut off one of his fingers trying to stop the running lawnmower.
Oh, my gosh.
So he's, missing a finger, bleeding, and he's trying to control and stop her. He's not able to do that. And, she wrestles him away, goes in the house, and dies.
Oh. Well,
and that was hard.
Yeah.
That was really hard.
And again, you were a kid when this happened, right?
Yeah, it was actually funny. It's funny, not in a sense, but it's a terrible scene. But I'm going to the bathroom when it exploded.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And our bathroom, we just had the one bathroom upstairs, and it had a window, and, I peed all over.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Just,
like, ugh.
Yeah, sure.
And I look out the window, and I see the flames already. It was almost immediate. Right?
How far is this from your house?
Oh,
literally?
Gosh. It was 300-400 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were on the corner, and, across. Would have been through the backyards, kind of diagonal through the backyards.
That's very close.
Oh. Really close, yeah.
That's traumatizing.
They had a hand crank old telephone.
Yeah.
Had a handle.
Yeah.
That crank ended up in our neighbor's yard.
From the explosion.
That was right through the backyard of us.
Wow.
Okay. It blew all the way across like 3 homes to there. That's how big an explosion it was. Yeah, those are traumatic experiences for sure. Things you don't forget.
If you would, Doug, I want you to read from your book. There's an event that happened with you and your dad after you'd registered for pre-engineering courses at Winona, Winona State University.
Right.
This would have been, 73 when you were senior in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it would have been the spring of
74 when you graduated?
74.
Oh,
yeah.
Because you started in the fall of 74, right? Okay.
Yeah, so it would have been the spring of 74.
Okay, all right.
Mom went with me to Winona. When we got back home, Mom made dinner. Of course, Dad was drunk. He looked at me at dinner and said, "Why are you bothering to go to college? You will never make it. You're not good enough." I got up from the table and said, "Outside." He took a swing at me in the backyard in broad daylight. I blocked it and punched him in return on the side of the face, knocking him down. He could barely stand up to start with. Mom did not speak to me for a week. Her embarrassment that the neighbors might have seen it and that I had taken advantage of a drunk, I guess, upset her. Dad never had an issue with it. Remember, he was a boxer as a kid, and he got in fights a lot as a young man. How much he remembered of the incident when he sobered up was also debatable. He had a big bump on his forehead from where I'd hit him for a few days.
Wow. So did your dad and you ever discuss that later? This just happened? Wow.
No,
okay.
Nothing was ever
discussed. You
discussed.
ever wondered how he got the bump on his forehead or... Yeah.
Well, he continued to drink.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And then how long before your mom did finally speak to you?
It was about a week.
About a week.
Yeah.
Okay. She did understand, right? I mean, or you don't hit your parents, or
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That was the only physical.
And,
encounter,
and I
right?
was I called him out. outside. He didn't call me outside. I called him outside.
Yeah.
And I didn't take the first swing. He did. And I was defending myself.
Sure.
But, I could have just blocked him and left it alone, but I punched him back.
Oh, there was some anger there.
There was some anger there.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go to. Thanks for sharing that, because that was when I first read it, I thought, wow. Chapter 6 was an interesting one. It's the longest title of all your chapters. It's personality traits of adult children of alcoholics, and then in parentheses it's ACOA. Is it pronounced ACOA, or is it an acronym like a COA? I mean, do you know?
It's ACOA, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought it was interesting because you listed a bunch of different parts about that as well. But how did your childhood trauma impact you, not only as a child, but as an adult?
Well, there's a lot of issues there, obviously. Had a hard time with self-esteem, particularly growing up and into young adulthood. Didn't really date in high school at all. I did have a date the day I graduated. I was a really wonderful person. That she was younger than me. We went out for a date that night after my graduation party.
Right.
But I just never felt comfortable in my own skin, and it's hard because my dad would pass out in his easy chair in the living room, snoring. He smoked.
Right.
He could have fallen asleep and gone in the bedroom. We could have closed the door. No.
So it was hard to bring people over.
It just couldn't bring people. It didn't feel comfortable. Could have, but it would have been, in my mind, embarrassing.
Oh, of course.
For my sister, too, and my mom. So didn't have a lot of that going on. My buddies would come around that lived in the neighborhood. We'd play outside.
Right.
And there were, obviously, my dad wasn't drunk all the time.
No,
there were times where,
no.
There's a lot of my buddies like my dad, like I did. I liked my dad. But, he was sick.
Right.
That whole thing, it was just hard to have and feel comfortable around relationships. I didn't have a lot of confidence. I cried easy, and because I would get upset.
Sure.
When people would kid me or mock me, and I was called Tom Crier and nicknames, and that was hurtful.
Of course.
And I lashed out by acting the same way, which is really poor on my part. Showed immaturity on my part, poking fun of others when I was being poked fun of, and I didn't, and still to this day don't have a lot of patience. I lack patience. Like I said, my brain works really fast, and so I don't have a lot of patience for people that aren't keeping up with me. That's not healthy either, obviously. It was hard for me to get close to people. You're always a little standoffish and not sure how much you want to share. And obviously this book is cathartic for me because I really opened up in terms of, some of the things that have gone on in my life. But a lot of my buddies had no idea.
Right.
No idea the stuff that I went through.
Yeah.
Didn't even know my dad drank.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of the guys didn't know. And they talked about that. So, those are things that I think have carried me forward in my life and I've worked really hard. I show a lot of empathy for people. I think that's a positive.
Sure.
I do care about others and others' feelings a lot because of what I've been through, and I continue to be that way. I tend to put others first above myself, and that can be good and bad. I tend to think it's good, but that's kind of my personality, and I get angry.
Sure.
I get angry at times. I get frustrated with myself. It's not so much I get angry like with you, Bob. I get angry with myself, like with golf or basketball, where
well,
I don't.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. I get mad. I make a bad shot or whatever, and slam a club down or swear or something like that. I'm doing less and less of that at 70. My counseling helped a lot in dealing with that I did when I was 40. But, that's something that's still there, and it's hard for me. I recognize it, and I know kind of the steps for me to try to control that.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Well said. I want to kind of balance things out a little bit. We talked about the trauma, but that's not the whole story. It wasn't traumatic 24/7 throughout your
life.
At
all.
In fact, talk about some of the good times you had with your dad. I mean, what you guys like to do together, the happy memories of it.
Yeah, Dad loved to fish, And he had a good friend. It was my aunt and uncle's brother, Jim, that had a place up on Fish Trap Lake, up towards Motley area, Lincoln, Minnesota, and we'd go up and go out fishing with them, him and his wife, and those were good memories. And my dad lost his job at the railroad. He was fired because he was drunk, and he was in a union. He was in the Brotherhood Union of
Railroad.
Yeah, railroad, and he got reinstated after a couple of years because he had approved sobriety, and he was sober for 2 years, and he ended up working as a counselor. My mom's sister, husband, and their son had 2 rehabilitation centers, one in Pine City, Minnesota, and the other was in Park Rapids. And the Pine City one now, I think, is a Hennepin County treatment facility, I believe.
Okay.
But they still have the one in Park Rapids.
And he was up there as a
my dad was
counselor?
working up at the one at Park Rapids. Yeah. We needed a job, or my dad needed a job, and so he was working for them and did counseling up there. And those are some great memories.
Yeah, absolutely.
He and I would. There was a trout stream right there that ran through the property into the Fifth Crow Wing Lake, and we'd go trout fishing. And one time, he and I picked like 17 ticks off of us because there was weeds there when we were fishing, and you know how that is. But the showy lady slipper was blooming right along the trout stream. There was a really cool place.
Yeah,
it's such a beautiful place. It really is. Yeah. It was actually owned originally by the Catholic Church, and it was a treatment facility for alcoholic priests. Back when my uncle bought it. And cousin bought it from the Catholic Church.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. And a couple of the priests who were alcoholics stayed on. And they
as counselors. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they stayed on. And Father Dick was just a super person. He had a parish in Rochester, and he said Sunday night I'd go out with parishioners, and he said he was still drinking, and they'd bring him a cup of coffee, and it just had whiskey in it.
Oh.
Wow. How much did the parishioners realize that was going on? I'm not sure. I'm not sure he knew either, but yeah.
But that was up in, what was it?
Park Rapids.
Park Rapids.
Yeah, it was actually, it was between Nevis and Park Rapids on Highway 34.
Up in northern Minnesota. Yeah. Okay.
Still there. Beautiful place. Beautiful place.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that about your dad. Chapter 7 now, this was entitled Survival and Moving Forward. This chapter is about how you moved forward, and you talked about how you found Sandy, your wife,
blessing.
whom you call the love of your life.
Still is.
And like I said, you're going to be married for 40 years this year, this year.
August.
You raised 2 kids and got 3 grandkids now. And
12, 7, and 4, all girls.
Yeah. So that was kind of a hopeful chapter to read, just moving forward. So talk a little bit about that, just why that was important to include that.
Well, one of my hope is of the book, and the reason, obviously honoring my promise to her,
right?
I'm hoping that it'll help others that are dealing with similar circumstances or have dealt with similar circumstances in their life. That you can survive it, you can move forward. You can have success personally and professionally. And I've had a lot of success professionally. I've been, board chairs and different organizations. I've won awards. I've had great careers. I've been a university professor.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of good things. And, as you mentioned, Bob, I've been married for 40 years. I've got 2 wonderful kids, a stepdaughter and my son, Josh, who I adore. They're both wonderful people, a credit to society. That's incredibly, it's just like with your daughter. They're wonderful people, and that's incredibly important. All the problems I've had, all the issues that I've dealt with as a child of an alcoholic parent, I was able to get past that and move forward. And again, Sandy was a big help. Sure. Obviously, my mentors were a big help. Friends like you, all the people that I've known over the years have been a great help in that regard. But it also took me to want to deal with it and address it. Right. And I think it's important for anyone to realize that you can't do it alone. You need to reach out. Don't sit on it. Understand that it's impacting others and yourself most importantly, and go seek help. Now, whether it's professional or you seek out someone that you trust, that you can have a conversation with, that can mentor you or guide you down the line, whether it's a spouse or like my situation, former bosses, whatever, or friends, whatever that is, wife, whatever that is, seek it out.
Yeah.
Because that's how you're going to be able to move forward.
Don't keep
and get
it all
past
inside.
No, don't keep it all inside because it'll chew you up.
Yeah.
Look at my sister. It's a perfect example. She didn't have that.
Yeah.
She didn't have that. And look what happened to her.
It's sad. It really is sad. I want to talk about a part of the book that I thought was probably the most touching of all. In Chapter 7, you talked about some of your personal and professional accomplishments and successes, which is all great. But there's a part that I want you to read here that I thought was probably, one of my favorite parts of the whole book.
What I miss most today, that none of the other people in my life can replace, is the opportunity to talk to my parents. I seek their counsel and support to address tough decisions I have faced over the years since they have been gone. The grief of their passing is something that I have never completely gotten over and never will. As I have aged, I have come to accept they are gone and have become more and more comfortable in my own skin, and I have more confidence in my own decisions. I rely on Sandy now for counsel. My life is less complicated in retirement, and my focus is on my family. It has eased the burden from their loss.
Yeah, well stated. Thanks. And then finally we come to Chapter 8, entitled Hope. It's it's only 2 pages long, but you packed a lot of good advice in just a couple of pages. And you mentioned, just restate it again, the underlying message, what you're trying to send in your book.
I want people to know that they can move forward and have success in their life, but they need to seek out others to be able to meet that goal.
Yeah.
That you can do it. I did it. It's possible. Don't dwell in your own misery.
And now that your book has been published, are there things that you wish you might have covered in the book that you thought, I forgot to put that in there?
Yeah, there's a couple things. One of the primary things is, a lot of the things that saved me, Bob, when my parents were yelling at each other, arguing about my dad's drinking, was music.
Oh, sure.
I love
have the radio by your ear or something. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a little album player.
Yeah.
That I'd put on. I had albums and.
Yep.
That was huge for me.
Music is,
and still is today.
Yep.
I'm hugely, as you know, I'm hugely into music.
Yep.
And I just it really helped a lot to be able to go to that, and it soothed me. It gave me a distraction.
Yep.
It gave me something else to listen to and think about other than their screaming.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I think music can be very helpful for anybody. It's a good way to relax and take your mind off things that you're dwelling on. So that's cool.
Yeah. The other thing it wasn't intentional. My aunt Irene, talked about my grandfather's death and that he died over in Mankato. And he worked on a railroad like my dad. He was, I believe, a brakeman on the railroad. Yeah. And he went to the drugstore on a Sunday, they claimed, and my dad said the same thing, and bought Sterno.
What is that exactly?
Sterno is like, you go to a party where they have the trays, with the food in it. Yeah. And it's a line where you can get food and dish up. Yeah. And they have the little burners underneath to keep it warm.
Oh, yeah.
On the pans.
Yeah.
That's Sterno.
Sterno?
That's Sterno.
It's fuel.
It's fuel, but it's alcohol.
Oh my gosh!
So
and he was drinking.
He drank that, and he poisoned himself.
As you say, that would kill you.
It did.
Oh.
And his blood work and stuff was sent to the University of Minnesota, and it says that in his death certificate, which I have in the book. Yeah. That's proof that obviously he poisoned himself to death.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. But he
was that desperate, right?
But here's what think about 1928.
Right.
What was going on in
Prohibition.
It didn't matter if it was Sunday or not. I talked about in the book it was Sunday, so there was liquor being sold, but it didn't matter. There wasn't liquor being sold at all.
No.
Because it was prohibition.
Yeah.
And I didn't clarify that in the book. So that's one regret that I have. That's
not that you couldn't get booze, but they couldn't sell it legally.
Yeah, right. Yeah, although if the Volstead, you know who Volstead is, right? He was from
here. Yeah, from Minnesota.
But the Volstead Act did allow people to brew their own liquor at home. Okay. You could brew your own liquor.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he didn't have anything to brew, so that's where he went to get the Sterno.
He got the Sterno at the drugstore, and he drank it, and he killed himself. Accidentally.
Are there people that you want to acknowledge that helped you with this book?
Oh, absolutely. You're one of them.
Okay.
Bob, you were one of the people that edited it, had a primary role in editing the book.
Yeah, I was a proofreader,
And I'm truly, truly grateful to you for it.
My pleasure.
My friend from college, Ann, also edited the book. Friend Mark down in Oklahoma, Edmond, Oklahoma, also reviewed the book. I had my two first cousins that I'm closest to on both sides of the family, Maureen, who's on my dad's side, my dad's brother's daughter, and my only first cousin on my mom's side, Denny. I had them both review it, just for consistency in terms of what I was talking about, that I wasn't, dating some misfacts to their knowledge.
Right.
So I did that with them, and I owe all of you a great thanks.
Well, speaking for myself, I can say, I'm a certified proofreader anyway. That certification at $4 will get me a cup of coffee at Starbucks. But I love doing it, and I was happy to help you.
Well, you did a great
out.
job.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. So, okay, I want to share with our listeners a couple of comments from people who have read Tom's book already. Again, the book is called I Survived, Living with the Trauma of a Dependent Parent. Maybe you've read them, Dog, but I want to share them with the listeners first. The first one is from a person named Terry. Quote, very heartfelt book about the childhood experiences of living with a dependent parent and how it can impact you throughout your life. This book can be helpful for someone that is struggling from their own personal experiences growing up with dependent parents, or for someone that is supporting a partner or friend that is struggling with the same, unquote. Terry goes on, the author highlights why the issues can be so complex and profound, and most often you cannot overcome them without the help of a loving partner and or supportive friends, mentors at work, as well as professional counseling in some instances. The author also acknowledges that the road to recovery is a journey and not a destination, and that there are ongoing challenges to deal with the insecurities resulting from these experiences. Great book of hope for anyone that is struggling with unfortunate experiences from their childhood, unquote. Wow, I think Terry liked your book.
That was really nice.
And here's the second comment I want to share. It's from a person named Rachel. Quote, I knew Tom as a neighborhood kid. I had no idea what his home life was like. This memoir is filled with research and personal examples of what it's like to grow up with a dependent parent. Thanks, Tom, for sharing your experience and encouragement. Best wishes and peace on your journey, unquote. I praise indeed. You might know that person, maybe?
I do. In fact,
Rachel?
her and her mother,
Okay.
Carol, are going to be at my book signing in Waseca.
Nice. Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Okay, speaking of that, you've mentioned it already, but you've got a couple of book signings actually coming up for the benefit of people listening to this before the middle of July of 2026. Tell us where they are, where they are in the times.
Yeah, it's July 11th. It's
Okay.
down in Waseca, Minnesota, my
Okay.
hometown, at the Waseca Art Center, which is right on State Street downtown.
Okay.
It's from 1 to 3.
Okay.
And I'm going to have refreshments there. I'll have books there for people if they want to purchase
Yep.
one. I'll
Yep.
sell them a book.
Yep.
And so that's the first one. The next one is on July 19th. July 11th is a Saturday.
Okay.
July 19th is a Sunday, and it's at Chapter 2 Books, which is in downtown Hudson, Wisconsin.
Yep.
It's also from 1 to 3.
Okay.
And again, it's an opportunity for people to come and say hi.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
If you have my book, I'm more than happy to sign it for you. Or if you'd like to purchase it, I know Chapter 2 Books has books for sale there for me. So,
Okay. Is it available online too?
It is.
Okay,
It's on
so-
Amazon and Barnes & Noble online.
Okay.
Ebook, and it's a paperback. It's also at the University of Minnesota,
Yep.
Kaufman Union.
Yep.
I was just there recently, and I took a picture of it
Yep.
on the shelves
Yep.
there
That's
at
great.
Kaufman Union. So, I have more work to do. I'm going to reach out to, obviously, some other bookstores and things around the Twin Cities,
Yeah.
and hopefully in the Phoenix area as well at some point in time. I'm working on trying to get a book signing in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where Sandy and I lived for
Yep,
8 years,
yep.
and be able to do that, because I know a lot of people. I was on 2 boards there. I was, president of Big Brothers Big Sisters Mountain Region there, and Current College Plaza. I was on that board as well as treasurer. Okay. So I'm hoping to be able to have some event there as well, but that's in process.
Yeah.
The audiobook is being recorded now.
Okay.
I've reviewed the first chapter, which is obviously the most difficult chapter because it's the most technical of the whole,
the alcoholism
book.
chapter,
I've reviewed that. I'm just waiting for the narrator to finish up the other chapters so I can review it. And once that's out, there's the Page Publishing is going to be doing a whole social media marketing effort. I'll have a website, all those kind of things. Great. But they won't do it until until the audiobook is out.
Okay. Oh, that's exciting. I hope
Yeah.
it goes well. Both the
So
books
everything
and
I've been doing in terms of marketing has been on my own, and been putting it out there. And I'm on TikTok, I'm on X, and Instagram. All the Facebook, LinkedIn, all the stuff that I can get out there and
social
get
media.
as much exposure as I can.
Right. Again, the name of the book is I Survived, Living with the Trauma of a Dependent Parent by Thomas Madigan from Page, that's Page Publishing. Congratulations again on keeping your promise to your mom and writing the book and getting it published, dog.
Yeah. Also want to thank Page. I mean, they've been great to work with. Yeah. Great publisher. It's a hybrid publishing, but they've been really good and good to work with. So I just want to shout out to them as well.
Great. Well, thanks again for joining me on this podcast about talking about your book. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Bob. I really appreciate your willing to take the time.
Yep, you bet. And again, to our listeners, thanks for hanging out with me, Bob Edholm, and my guest, published author, Thomas Madigan. We hope you join us for the next episode of Hanging Out with Bob, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Until then, bye.